Hey guys, happy Friday. So of course I'm not here today. I am on campus just at meetings all day, right? But what I want to do today with this video is review what we've done in the past day. So graphing still linear inequalities, and then we're also going to go backwards. So I'm going to give you guys a graph, and then it's your job to write the equation. Kind of like what we did with first semester. So let's just jump right into this. So again, if you guys remember, yesterday we talked about, hey, if it's in the standard form, we first have to fix it, right? Move the x over, divide everything by 2, and then once we have our inequality here, we can go ahead and graph it. Now, don't forget, the only time you switch this inequality sign is if you divide both sides. That step where we divide everything by a specific number. If it was a negative, that's the only time we flip the sign. All right, let's jump into an example though. And again, these are 5 steps we've been doing. Write the equation in y equals mx plus b if it isn't already. Plot your y-intercept, get the second point. Again, use this little chart if you're still struggling. And then we shade either above or below. So let's do this one together. So again, make sure you guys have this in your notebook here. So first things first, it says graph 4x minus 3y is greater than 12. Now again, I can't graph that right away. I do have to fix a few things here. Now again, always, we want to get the y by itself. So let's kick over this 4x by doing minus 4x, minus 4x. And we're going to end up getting these guys canceled out. You get negative 3y is greater than negative 4x, and that's a positive 12, so we put plus 12. All right, next thing here is I have to get rid of this negative 3 up front. So when I divide everything here, I don't just divide by 3, it's a negative 3. Please don't forget that negative 3, negative 3, and negative 3. Now again, remember, notice what I'm dividing by here. It's a negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. Because this green number here is negative, I have to immediately flip my inequality, and this becomes now y is less than, I can't divide 4 by 3, but I know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, 4 over 3x. And then what's 12 divided by negative 3? That is negative 4. And there we have it. This one's good to go. I can actually go ahead and graph it. So I'm going to scoot over here on the right, get a different color here. So I start with the negative 4. I drop down on the y-axis to negative 4. There we go. And then my slope tells me, remember that your slope is your m here, tells me to rise up 4. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3. And there we have it. All right, now before we go ahead and actually connect my line here, right, solid or dotted, that's the question. Again, it's not equal to, it doesn't have that equal to piece at the bottom, so this is going to be a dotted line. Hopefully I can do this on the computer as best as I can. All right, there we have it, there we have it. Okay, now again, do I shade above or below? Now again, notice y is on the smaller side of the inequality. So again, this little edge right here, this little where the two lines meet, that means it's on the smaller. Now smaller means I'm going to be underneath. It's everything below. So I need to highlight everything underneath this line. That represents all of my solutions down here. All right, perfect. Now let's go ahead and talk about whether these 2 points are solutions, yes or no. So if I take the first one, 0, 0, that's going to be at my origin right there, 0, comma, 0. Notice it's not in the highlighted area. It's not where I shaded in, so that would not, we would say, no, that is not a possible solution. We're going to say no. What about 3, negative 1? So I scoot over, remember, that's your x, and this is your y. So I scoot over 3 on the x, 1, 2, 3, and I go down to negative 1. This right here would be 3, comma, negative 1, and that is, right, it's in the highlighted area, so that one's good to go. That is actually part of my solution set here. So we're going to say yes on that one. All right, let's get over to the second example. I want you guys to try this one. Pause the video here, take a second and try it. Now, I do try to trick you guys because I do flip the y and the x. You still should get rid of which one first? The x. All right, so when you're ready to go, hit play. All right, so let's go through this. So first things first, I do need to get rid of the x. Now, normally it's up front, right? But it's still a minus 2x. How do we still kick that over? Well, we do plus 2x, plus 2x. Okay, these guys cancel out. I bring down still my 3y is less than or equal to 2x that I scooted over plus the 9. Now I have to get rid of that 3. Now when I get rid of that 3 again, I'm going to divide everything by that number, and this is a positive 3. So is there a need to flip the inequality sign? No, it's a positive 3. That green 3, positive, so there's no need to flip it. 3's cancel out. I'm just left with y is less than or equal to 2 over 3x. If it doesn't divide, that's fine, leave it. And then 9 divided by 3 is positive 3. And that one's good to go. I can actually go ahead and graph that. So let's scoot over one more time over here to the right. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 on the y axis. Remember, that's my y-intercept, and my slope is telling me to go up 2 and over 3. So I'm going to go up an additional 1, 2 spots, and to the right 1, 2, 3. And again, I don't have enough space. I could also have gone though down 1, 2, and then left 1, 2, 3, just to get a nicer, straighter line, right? We want to add more points. It looks a little nicer when we actually graph it. All right, at this point though, solid or dotted, well, it has the equal to piece at the bottom. So this is going to be an actual solid line. It means I can actually equal it. I can stand on it. This line is part of my, any point on that line is part of my solution. Okay. Now, last thing is, do we highlight above, do we shade in below or above? And again, y in this case is on the smaller end right here. We see it. So smaller, again, think of it as being below. So you want to come in and shade everything lightly underneath here. All right, so we're going to shade everything in, shade everything in. So again, all this area underneath it represents all of my solutions. Okay, let's go ahead and test these points. Let's see. First one, 0, 0. Origin one more time. Is that part of my solution? Yeah, it lands inside of the shaded area. All this is in yellow that I shaded in. That one's good. That is a solution. Okay, what about negative 2, positive 2? Let me scoot left 2, up 2. Ooh, barely missed it. Negative 2, 2. I'm just outside of that boundary line, so that's not going to be a possible solution. Okay, I would say no. If I landed exactly on the line, we would say yes, because it's a solid line. But it's slightly outside, so we're going to say no on this guy. Okay, now here's the new stuff for today. We're going to go ahead and do it backwards. So I give you guys the graph, right? So it says now write the linear inequality for the graph represented below. So I still want to write it in that y equals mx plus b, but of course not an equal sign because there's shading and it's a dotted. But let's see what I can start to pick out. And again, I try to break it down for you guys with your y-intercept, your slope, solid or dotted, and above or below, just to kind of hopefully help us out when writing the equation. So let's go ahead and let's see. First things first, what is the y-intercept? So where does this line cross this y-axis? Remember, this is your y-axis. It crosses it at 0, 3, and again, it's just really 3. So I know my b, my letter b is a positive 3. That's going to be a plus 3 here at the end. I'll put it all together here in a second. Okay, now my slope, it's my rise over my run. How do I get from this point to the next nice point? I could also use the last one, but how do I get from this point, from the first nice one to the second? Well, I have to drop down 2 spots because I went down. That is going to be a negative 2, a fall of 2. And I go to the right 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be a positive 3. So my slope is down 2, so negative 2 over 3. Okay, and again, what letter is that going to be? M. It's going to be my slope there. Okay, I have the M, I have the B. All I need to figure out is, well, it's not going to be an equal sign. What way should my inequality face? Well, it's what kind of line is there? It's a dotted line. Okay, so it's not going to have the bottom equal to piece. Okay, and then the last one, did I shade above or below? And you see here that we shaded everything above this dotted line, so it's above. So what symbol says that it's above and that it should be dotted? Well, above means greater. We want to put the bigger opening first like that. Okay, so notice greater. When I write my inequality, I want the bigger side to be facing the y value. And again, I don't write the line underneath because that would mean it's a solid line. So when I write my inequality here, I should say y is greater than, okay, negative 2 over 3, x, don't forget that x, and then what's my b? Plus 3. There we have it. We wrote the inequality that's being represented there. All right, let's go ahead and I want you guys to try this one on your own. So again, take a second, pause the video, see if you can figure this one out. It's a solid line. They shaded below. All right, that's going to be the tricky part here. All right, so let's go through it. What is my y-intercept? Well, that happens on the y-axis one more time. They actually go down at negative 1. So that right there is going to be my b. It's going to be a minus 1 this time. Now again, you have these few nice points here that I've given you. How do I get to the next one? Well, from the starting point, they went up 1. So that's a rise of positive 1. And I scooted over 1, 2 spots. So positive 2. Rise over run. So this is going to be a slope of 1 over 2. And again, that's going to be the letter M because that represents my slope. Okay, now it's a solid line, so I know it's going to have that little equal to piece at the bottom when I write it. And they shaded below. So below means less than. Again, the smaller side should be facing the y. So when I put these guys together, it should say less than or equal to. Let me carry up the y. What was my slope? 1 over 2. Don't forget your x. And what was my y-intercept? Negative 1. All right, let's go through it. I got one more for you guys to try. Okay, so take a second, take a sec. Actually, we're going to skip this guy right here. All right, this one right here, because it does show up on you guys' class activity. Okay, notice I don't give you nice points, but it's your job to find them. Like, this is a nice intersection. Go follow the line, follow the line. That's not pretty nice. That one's pretty solid right there, right? It's a nice intersection. Keep it going, keep it going. Oh, there's another nice point. All right, so again, that's going to kind of help you out. If I don't give you the points, it's your job to figure out those nice intersections. So take a second, pause the video, see if you can figure this one out. All right. So let's go through it. Where did I start with my y-intercept? They started graphing here at 1, 2, 3. This right here is 3. That is going to be positive 3. That's going to be my y-intercept. All right, what's my slope? Well, they drop down 1, 2. So if they drop down, it's going to be minus 2 and over how many? Positive 1. Okay, and again, you can see it. They go down another 2 over 1. So what's my slope? Negative 2 over 1, or simply, some of you guys just like to say negative 2. And again, this is what kind of line? It's a solid line. Solid means it's going to have the little equal to piece on the bottom. And they shaded also underneath this line, so below. So it's going to be less than. I'm going to put these guys together here in a second. So my inequality should say y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 3. And again, you could add the 1 on the bottom of the negative 2 if you really wanted to. All right, guys. So there you have it. I want you guys to practice. You have 6 problems for today's class activity. All right. So just like we did the past few days, okay, you have 4 problems right here. You guys are graphing. Notice the first one's good to go. Second one's good to go. So just graph them and then give me, just like we've done in the past, give me something that is going to be a solution and something that is not part of your solution. Number 3 and number 4, you do have to fix those. Okay. All right. When you're done with these, and again, just hit play and we'll scoot over to the next slide here in a second. All right. So here we have it. So for part 2, I told you guys it was 6 problems. So for part 2, I need you guys to write the inequality. So again, your job is to write that equation, just like we did in the last few examples. Now again, I'll give you guys a few points. Like this one was a nice point. Okay, if I follow it, follow it, follow it, that's another nice point. If I follow it, there's another nice point. So again, I'll give you guys that much of a hint. All right, guys, 6 problems. When you are done, please go up to my sub. They should have an answer key. Check it. If everything's perfect, please turn it in. Whatever you don't finish, of course, you guys know that becomes homework. Other than that, guys, have a nice weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.